Good evening, guys. Welcome back to another video. It's Stephen here, late on a Friday evening to talk about Manchester City ahead of their trip to the MX Stadium tomorrow against Brighton. Oh, it's going to be a fun game of football, isn't it? Hopefully a positive one. I do not want to go into an international break staring down the barrel of a fourth defeat in a row. I know it sounds crazy saying that out loud, but the fixtures have not been kind to Manchester City Football Club, and we have been suffering a little bit, if we're being honest. It's not been the best time to be a City fan right now. Look, it's not true pain. We're absolutely fine, second in the league, probably going through Champions League. It will be all right. Out the Carabao Cup, no one's really asked. But we have had some slaps in the face, if we're being totally honest. So today, we're going to sort of try and go through that. And get our head around where Manchester City are currently at, and get our head around the prospect of playing Brighton tomorrow in the Premier League, because it's not going to be easy. In fact, it's going to be very, very difficult. I think we'd be naive to dismiss this as an easy game. Not sure that anyone's doing that, but it's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard. Yeah, very hard indeed. Hello to everyone in the chat, by the way. Hello to John, to Drizzy, to Indra Nil, to Tom, to Asmi, to Brooks, to Brendan, to UW. Yeah, I'm feeling a bit better, mate. I had a sinus infection the last couple of days. I just slept downstairs on the sofa to get a good night's sleep for a bit without Ruben waking me up, so that was a good idea. And I've been having lots of liquids and all that, so feeling a little bit better today. So thank you very much, Judith, for asking. 4 years, you're a legend, mate. Absolutely appreciated, Ryan. Nicholas, thank you very much as well. So yeah, do let me know, of course, during this live video how you're feeling about the game tomorrow, where your head's at, and all the usual stuff. Get your predictions in the comments. I do read them all, by the way. I sit there, even if I don't respond to them all, I'm often just sat there when I'm getting 10 minutes privacy to myself on the loose, reading through your comments. So thank you very much for the support. Give the video a like as well while you're at it. And of course, please do consider checking out the sponsor of this video, the people that I'm partnering with right now, which is Fan Team, which is a wonderful app. I'll go to the Fan Team now because I want to show you the partnership that I've got right now with Fan Team. Fan Team basically is an FPL type game where you can be within a chance to win part of the £11,000 prize pool for game week 11. Basically, all you got to do is enter the Big Pick 6 free entry. There's a link in the description right now. You can click. Also in the pinned comment in the live chat. Click it right now. It's not just UK based. There's loads of countries involved, and you can get a free entry on Fan Team for new signers with no new sign-ups with no deposit required. It's dead easy. All you got to do is pick 6 players from Sunday's games. Just any 6 players. No positional stuff, no budget. Just pick the 6 players you think are going to have banging games. Only 3 per club, so you can't pick 6. I don't know who's playing at the weekend. Arsenal players. It can be 3 per club, so you can pick 3 Arsenal players and 3 Chelsea players if you wanted to. Dead easy. Just pick the players that you think are going to do really well. So it really does just rely on your ball knowledge. Like, if you think these players are going to do well, pick them, and that's it. And free entry. No deposit required. It is 18 plus, etc., and all that kind of stuff. But all you got to do is click that, and I'll show you my team for the weekend. By the way, the FPL one I've gone for. So here you go. I mean, big pick 6 week 11. I did actually get some money last week, as you see. It's the top corner there. £6. I didn't have the greatest one, but I got £6. I got my money back. Got the free entry, of course, as well, which you guys can get. And these are the 6 players that I've gone for from this week's fixtures. Of course, this week's fixtures are United versus Leicester. This Sunday's fixtures, by the way. So the entry ends at 10 a.m. on Sunday. So you've got until 10 a.m. on Sunday to register. It usually takes about 24 hours, by the way, for a ticket to be registered, but they'll do it before, I think, 11 o'clock deadline, I think, on Sunday. So these are the games. You got United versus Leicester, Forest versus Newcastle, Spurs versus Ipswich, and Chelsea versus Arsenal. So Spurs have got Ipswich. So I've gone for Son. I've gone for Solanke because Solanke's in form right now. I've gone for Saka because I think he'll always be involved. I think he's going to get... and Palmer. Saka and Palmer feel like obvious choices, even though it's Chelsea versus Arsenal. Vardy, I've gone because I'm a Burt, because I think he's going to score against United, and I love it. Vardy's going to score against United. You've heard it here first. And I went for Chris Wood because he's banging form right now. They're my 6 players. What 6 players would you pick from Sunday's games? Do let me know. Once again, no budget. No positional restrictions. So if you're like me and struggle with FPL because every day it feels like you're doing a spreadsheet and there's so many players and this and that, and you don't want to do the budget, you just want to just pick 6 players, give Fan Team a go. It's really simple. All you got to do is know who's playing, and usually 1 in 5 people get a payout. It's like top 20% of the pot get a payout. So free entry. Once again, click the link in the description. Dead easy. Or the pinned comment. What are you guys waiting for? Really, 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 really simple. That I'm working with these, and I really enjoy it. So once again, if you want to help support the channel a little bit as well, maybe just play the game this weekend, see how it goes. If you don't like it, don't play it again. Free entry. Dead simple. 18 plus. The T's and C's, of course, are in the description below. Dead easy. go for it right now and let me know what you guys make of it if you enjoy it. Have I missed out anyone there, by the way? Should I pick anyone else? To me, they're the players that I feel like I should pick from Sunday's games. I thought about Madueke, actually, or maybe Jackson, because I feel like he might score against Arsenal, weirdly. But I think I've gone for those ones. Maybe United, gone out of show or something like that. Amad Diallo scored the other day, but I went for those ones anyway. So, yeah, there we go. There we go, guys. Give it a go. Give it an entry. Link in the description below. Absolutely costs you nothing to enter. It's good fun, dead easy, and you could win yourself a bit of money for your ball knowledge. Really, really simple. Thanks, you Dubs. I think it is indeed. So, yeah, let's talk about this game. It should be a lot of fun. I'm pretty confident that City, I think their head's in the right place. I think they will try and get a reaction. It's not going to be easy. Like I'll paint the picture for you where Man City are right now. It's sometimes it's painful to go back, but sometimes we have to go back. So let me get rid of that there. There's our results. A 4-1 loss against Sporting. My head's calmed a little bit since then. A 2-1 loss against Bournemouth, a 2-1 loss against Spurs. I wasn't bothered about the Spurs loss because I actually thought we played pretty well given the team selection and all that kind of stuff. Bournemouth, I don't think we were good enough. I think Guardiola said we weren't good enough either. Sporting, weirdly, I mean, like I was annoyed. I thought it was embarrassing. And what I mean by embarrassing is not that I don't think the entire team was embarrassing. City are embarrassing. I mean, parts of it were abject. They were like some of the defensive decision making was just bad. It was bad, and some of the finishing was poor. And it's just one of those things where it's just frustratingly frustrating, if that makes sense. Like, it shouldn't be that sketchy. And when you see how City actually played, there's the balance of the game right there. We didn't actually do that terrible outside of random moments of nonsense. And I actually agree with Guardiola on that. Like, 2 stupid penalties give away and giving Gyökeres that many chances, just it's stupid. You don't need to give that. And there were, there are extraneous variables. And my head's cooled a little bit. I do understand. Like, I go through that lineup right now, by the way. And, like, I go through it the other day. Haaland, I know he had a break, but he needs a bigger break. Núñez is still playing his way into the team as a left winger. Bernardo needs a break. Kovacic needs a break. Savinho just back from injury. Vardy barely gets a break. Akanji looked fucking knackered. He did look absolutely knackered. Simpson Pusey making a full debut. Rico Lewis knackered. We're not in a good place. We're not in a good place right now. And I think we forget, like, I actually came down on Akanji during the game a little bit. I don't ever feel guilty about saying something in the moment because we're all human beings. We lose focus sometimes of the reality of the situation. But I came down on the Kanji on Twitter and I was like, I think he's let down Simpson Pusey a little bit. And some people replied to me afterwards saying, you got to bear in mind the guy's absolutely knackered and probably a bit injured. And I actually agree, because when you look at what Akanji did, a couple of times he jogged back. Akanji's not that guy. And usually, if someone who is so reliable does something so stupid or inexcusable, there's probably usually a reason. And you have to go, well, why would Akanji just suddenly become lazy? The only possible reasons are he's suddenly become a dick, or he's injured, or tired. It's probably that, isn't it? So I understand that players are just dead, man. Like, they're just dead on their feet right now. There was quotes coming quotes coming out of journalists, allegedly from the City camp midweek, saying City is so tired right now and they're so wary, and there's lots of sort of like despondent players knocking about. And I actually think that's probably true. I think it is. I think they're all a bit worn out. I think they're all a bit ground down. And I look at the bench as well the other day, and the bench looked, Gundogan. Look, Gundogan he's not there yet. He's not there yet. If he will be, he looks old. Doku looked a bright spark. De Bruyne is not fully ready. Walker barely trained. Ake injured, according to Guardiola. Wilson has Brandon Riley, McAtee, right, kids. So it's one of those things where we're not looking good, and you look at the players that are out there. Rodri, Grealish, Diaz, Stones. I mean, Oscar Bob. There's some missing there as well that are not even listed there. But we're not in a good place, So I agree that we were okay versus Sporting for large parts of it, but parts of it were embarrassingly abject. And I can, in hindsight, now put that down to where we're at with the... De Bruyne's cross at the end was terrible, wasn't it? I agree with that, John. I was like, that's a grown out loud thing. And I can put it down to where we're currently at. So, but all this, we're discussing why it's happening, and I get that. The only thing is, it's sort of irrelevant why it's happening when you approach the Brighton game, because we're talking about how we're going to get to Brighton. The why is irrelevant. The only thing that matters is the is. If that makes sense, like the what's in front of us and where we're currently at and how we're doing. And the fact is, regardless of how it's happening, we're in a bad place, and that does not make it easier. Like, not the excuses and the reasons don't really change anything about what's going to happen. If that makes sense. Like, it's like Brighton going, "Oh, you've got injuries. Oh, okay. Well, never mind. You know, let's chill out." No, Brighton are going to use it. Brighton tasting blood right now. They are. They're not an aggressive team, Brighton, but they're a smart team, and they will hunt Man City. You know, so this is the issue that we've got. Like, Brighton will go at Manchester City because they sense a weakened Manchester City, and there's a feeling, I would guess, that City are there to be got at right now, because we are. We absolutely are, and we can't deny that inevitability that people are going to come at us. So we're going to have to be so up for this game. We're going to have to find ways to sort of... And that's what I would like. I would like Guardiola to be... I'd like Guardiola to throw caution to the wind a little bit and just maybe use some of the young players. But then I'm going to count myself as well. I always go... And I do this as much as anyone else. I always go, why is he not playing player X? Why is he not playing player Y, Z, whatever? And I think we always presume they're not playing him. And I always have to remind myself sometimes, as I did the other day internally, that he does play him. Like, but he plays him in training. It's like, we forget as football fans that 90% of football is away from the 90 minutes. It's one of those things where because we don't see it, we only really have games as a reference point. Do you know, you follow me there? We only really have that as a visual reference point, and we forget that so much of football is training. Like, if a player that you love isn't playing, you can only presume that they're just not ripping it up in training. Like, I find it hard to believe, and this is as someone who's a James McAtee fan, for example. I find it hard to believe that James McAtee is looking like prime David Silva in training, skinning everyone, and also then putting in the top corner and playing De Bruyne passes. And Guardiola's going, yeah, but I'm going to ignore him. I don't believe that's true. If he was really, if people like Nunes, who everyone wanted to play in the centre for a long time, and McAtee and Jacob Wright and all these currently young players, if they were really making everyone look like idiots in training, I don't think Guardiola would ignore them. The only logical conclusion for me is that Guardiola looks at them and goes, in training, and they look like they do on the pitch. You know, where they're like, look good, but not amazing. And they look like young players still. That's the only conclusion I can make, really. And I could be wrong there. But I think there's plenty of evidence to point that if someone's doing brilliant in training, he'll play him. Like, Savino is a young 20-year-old winger, and Guardiola's very risk-averse, usually with attackers. He's been playing him since he joined. He played Doku since he joined because he liked how aggressive he was and what he did he wants. He put Rico Lewis, a 17-year-old, in the team because he liked him in training. So Phil Foden got into the squad because he liked him in training. So I don't really agree that Guardiola... I had a debate with someone online about this, that I don't really agree that Guardiola just will only choose the players that he likes. I think he chooses it as a democracy. I really do. I think he's very... as a meritocracy. I think Guardiola really chooses based on who's there on merit, and sometimes he'll trust certain players. I get that, but I think he's doing what he can right now, and I think we have to appreciate Guardiola knows more about football than we ever will do. So that's where we're at. So let's go to Guardiola's quotes anyway. It was a short press conference today. I've watched it. I've even seen the embargo stuff as well, actually. That's out at 10:30. More of the same, I would say, in terms of tone. I can't obviously go into the general quotes from the 10:30 quotes, but they'll come out. But look, if you watch the earlier press conference, Guardiola looked short. He didn't want to be there. He left within 6 minutes. This is so quick from Guardiola. And he was giving short, blunt answers to questions. He wasn't happy. Why he's not happy, I don't know, but he did not want to be there, and he was in a bad mood. Guardiola's been in bad moods in plenty of press conferences before. Like, he has. Sometimes it's just because he's Guardiola, and sometimes it's because he might have had like a bad phone call 10 minutes before it. Who knows? He was late, by the way, so he was late as well. So he could have. Who knows? He looked like he'd had an annoying conversation. Didn't want to be there. I wouldn't read anything to it. He's Pep Guardiola. He's neurotic. He is what he is. So, yeah, his body language was defensive, short and blunt. I actually felt like the people asking the questions, they tried to word it so calmly because they could tell Guardiola wanted to bite their heads off. And, yeah, but anyway. So, here we go. Let's go to these quotes from the press conference. He was asked about, he's got no plans to go to Abu Dhabi. That was, of course, weighted about contracts, no plans. But that wasn't him. He was just batting that away. He said 20 minutes against Fulham, we were not good. The game against Bournemouth, we were not good. The rest of the games we lost, we were good. So you mean Spurs and Sporting there. he thought that we were good against them. And I sort of get where he's coming from there. Yeah, we had a bad spell against Fulham and then against Bournemouth. Not good, full stop. So the Grealish stuff, I'll get on to Grealish in a minute. He talks about Brighton. He said, I'm impressed by the way they play. I think the director chair made an incredible job there. Brighton made a lot of signings this season, and Hürzeler is doing an incredible job. Personality, rhythm, the way they play was outstanding. Always they've been tough since Graham Potter. Away at home, it doesn't matter. There'll be no exception. Great team. I absolutely agree. They've done really well to get Potter doing really well, then De Zerbi doing really well, now Hürzeler as well. Like, it's really impressive. Like they hire well. They're a very well-run club, and they are where they are. He was asked about the 3 losses. He said different competition, so I guess he's not that bothered. He said what he's learned about his players. He said not absolutely anything because I've known them for 9 years. They prove many times what they're capable of. It's not changed the opinion of them. It's part of sometimes happens. Sometimes it happens, I guess is what he means. I would argue that the quote, knowing them for 9 years, sort of proves the point that we probably do need some new players. Some of them have been there too long. I actually don't think everyone should be that long. It was there was nothing to take from that other than the Grealish stuff. Now, we can't ignore the elephant in the room that is Jack Grealish here. If you've been on Twitter or whatever, or social media or Instagram, there's been loads of rumours going around about Jack Grealish. I'm going to entertain them, but also dismiss them because I think it's sort of crass to speculate about serious things without fully knowing the picture. So I'll only talk about what Guardiola said. I'm sort of speculating here, so actually I'm sort of like contradicting myself a little bit, but I won't say whether I think it's all true or not because I don't know, but I will discuss it broadly. In broad strokes, there's been rumours going around about Jack Grealish's sort of professionalism, having problems away from the pitch and all this kind of stuff. And some people have suggested that he's fit, he's just not playing because of professionalism issues. I don't know about that. I have no idea if it's true or not. There are counter stuff, there's some people saying it is. Then one in the nose told me he's come out and said it's nonsense, that he loves Pep, and someone said he fell out with Pep, and I don't really get the idea of Guardiola falling out with Grealish. I think Chinese whispers comes into it. There's always stuff where someone goes, oh, this happened, and then before you know it, like, this is not what happened. This is me as an example warning, disclaimer. Guardiola could have had a reasonably passionate, and not heated, passionate discussion with Jack Grealish about who's playing and where he needs to go. Before you know it, someone goes, oh, Grealish is chatting to Pep about his future, and they disagreed on certain things, but healthily, and someone could have twisted that into Grealish fell out with Guardiola, and then someone could twist that into Grealish and Guardiola don't like each other and they're falling apart all the time. You see how Chinese whisper starts? Like, it could easily have rolled and rolled and rolled, and before you know it, the snowball got bigger because people elaborate and exaggerate, and someone is always more salacious, and people aren't good at passing on messages. If I've learned one thing about the human species over the last 39 years of my existence, or the only 39 years of my existence, is that people are not good communicators, even when they try to be. I try to be. I think I'm probably better than most, but people just genuinely, they miss out context, and they choose lazy words that make things sound better than they are. Context is important. So I don't know. I'd be very surprised if Grealish doesn't get on with Guardiola. He's always talked about with such respect, and like he appreciates him and admires him, and for bringing him all that success. I'd be amazed if Grealish is taking time out just to fight with Guardiola all the time. That doesn't add up to me. I was chatting to a mate about it earlier, and my mate was right. He said, like, it doesn't seem very Grealish-like, and I actually agree with that. It's possible that you might have had a discussion at some point and they disagreed on things, but I disagree with my wife on things. I disagree with my son on things. He's 2 years old. Like, we all disagree with people. That doesn't mean we're arguing or fighting all the time. So we've got to take everything with a pinch of salt and presume people know a small bit, and that people exaggerate and people spin and twist, not for bad reasons. It's just because it's what human people do. So I don't know where we're at with that. However, all that being said, I do think it is a little bit odd that he's called up for England. I'm sure Guardiola's probably asked, and I'm sure there'll be stuff that comes out in the press conference that comes out at 10:30, the embargo stuff. I'm sure, basically Grealish has traded, like, I think Carsley has implied that he's, he wanted to be there or whatever. And I think Guardiola said he's not been available, something like, what did he say? He was asked about it. He said it's a question for the manager, Lee Carsley, which is interesting. He was very short. He was very blunt. He said, no good news. Oh, wait. he was just he cut the conversation down. It was very short. It was very blunt, and it's very easy to interpret it as, there we go. Can you tell Jack Grealish as well? Wait, what? But he was picked for England yesterday. Question for the manager for the UK. By the way, so we have the manager for the UK now. So it's Keir Starmer's answer, is it, to answer this? I don't know. Obviously, you meant England, but yeah. Is he fit to play for you tomorrow? No. Very blunt. Very to the point. I agree that it feels off. I don't know if it's off, but I agree that it is odd that Guardiola. The reason I feel it's weird is because Guardiola usually talks about injuries. He does, and I think people are not wrong to put things together and say, look, Grealish has always had problems with motivation, and he's been very honest about that. Stuff's come out in the past, rumours about drinking, professionalism, late for training, and all that kind of stuff. So I think people will speculate because that is the nature of it all, and Guardiola was blunt, and I think it is a bit odd that he's going to England. But having said that, it is normal for, players to join up for England anyway, and England's physios to assess them. And I think Guardiola did say, when Grealish and Doku were first out, it'd be a couple of weeks for Grealish, didn't he? So it does sort of align with that, if we're being honest, time phrase wise. So it could be that. We haven't got a clue. Like, we haven't... Yeah, maybe we did say that, John. John said maybe he said Vinicius should have won Ballon d'Or. Yeah, I don't know. But I do agree it feels off. We're going to have to wait. Look, if it's as bad as everyone's saying it is on Twitter, well, no. Time will unravel. What I do know is that we really could do with Jack Grealish being fit, We could do. So that's all I've got to say on that. I'm choosing my words carefully because I just don't see the point in making a conclusion. He is a new dad, as Fenway Cheap Sheet said. Look, I know what it's like to be a new dad. I've got a 2-year-old now. He knocked me for 6. I was nowhere near myself for a long time. And I think Jack Grealish is an emotional guy. I think he's a lot. I don't think he handles things anywhere near as well as people think he does. I don't think Jack Grealish likes being booed all around the ground. I think he's such a laid-back person. I don't think Jack Grealish actually... I don't think he's admitted before that he finds playing for City a bit overwhelming, in terms of he thought it'd be easy and it's really hard. I think Jack, he's quite a homely person, and I don't think he's a natural in the big leagues in terms of playing for Man City. He's done well, he's won a treble, but I think it comes at a great expense for him. I think he has to force it. And when you've got De Bruyne, Diaz, Rodri, Haaland, these professional freaks, these absolute winners, these are the freaks who are just, football's easy for them, and there is no fear of that camera glare or the intense scrutiny that comes with, being a superstar. And I don't think Jack Grealish is scared of it, but I think he's quite a soft guy. And look, I'll be honest with you, I get shit every now and then for what I do, and I don't like it. I don't like being disliked. I think I'm a nice person. I'm quite a soft guy, and when I get shit online sometimes, I'm like, why are people being a dick to me? I've done nothing wrong, and I get like that sometimes. And I ignore it. I ignore it all because you put it down to dickheads being dickheads. But I'm a human being. I get frustrated by people being dicks every now and then. It doesn't bother me past the moment, if that makes sense. And I'm capable of seeing the bigger picture. But occasionally, if I had 60,000 people boo me every week, I would be like, bit shit that. I actually would, and I'd ignore it and crack on, of course. I'm not saying I would have issues, but I understand why someone could, is what I'm saying. So I don't think Grealish is the strongest mentally. I don't think he is. And I don't think this has got anything to do with this rumours. So I think Grealish is an interesting place, and I think time will tell how it comes out. And what I would say is that I think people should choose their words carefully, and I don't think that we gain anything from wildly speculating or accusing people of making judgments on a person's character without seeing the full picture. You wouldn't want it to happen to you, so I would suggest people wouldn't want it to happen to them too. And that's just me being a dad now and trying to be an adult about it. But it could be that he's done lots of things wrong, but we don't know. And until we know, let's just see what happens. That's all I will say. I certainly wouldn't use any of these rumours to prove to get rid of him, sack him and call him a fraud. I don't see the point in that. Let's see how it goes, and it'll come out. It'll come out. Nothing hides away in football, So, doing the dad changes everything. I don't. One thing, by the way, one thing about being a dad is that all the abuse I used to get online stuff, I don't care about as much. And personally anymore, I don't care. I just don't care. I used to care a lot more, but now I'm thicker skinned because I'm older. But now I'm I don't give a shit, man. I got my son Ruben. He's the best thing in the world. I just don't care. I do not care at all. Anyway. So, basically, in terms of fitness as well, I know it's been very philosophical, but I think there's a lot to talk about. It's a question for the man. Wait, where does he say? No good news. The same as Lisboa. The same guys travelled still are there. So, it's the same squad, basically. Exact same squad. So look at Brighton. Is that Brighton getting on recently? Thank you very much, Brooks. Very kind of you, mate. I think I'm a good person, by the way. I think there's a lot of people who don't like people like me, and because I think I'm wordy. The amount of times I can write a tweet and I think it's pretty reasonable, but then they just attack me instead because I replied to them with a good point, so they just attack my character. I'm like, I swear you're only replying to me and abusing me because I've said a point that you don't disagree with, so you just got at me anyway. Anyway, it got me personally. So they got Liverpool. They lost to Liverpool 2-1. They were actually good in that game. They probably felt a little bit hard done by. This is how they're playing currently right now. Rutter. You got that guy, Ferdy, isn't he? He's meant to be really good, isn't he? I don't know much about him, but got his first goal the other day. 25-year-old winger. Where did he come from? He signed from Fenerbahce. Yeah, he's done pretty well apparently. He's quite good. I don't know a lot about him, but I know he's highly rated. Obviously got the Ayari and Hinshelwood, Matoma. I don't know about their fitness. Let me just double check my website that I usually check for fitness stuff like that. If they're missing anyone, I usually go to Sports Mall. By the way, they're pretty good for these things. Let's have a look for their fitness. Brighton. They're such a good side, and it's really impressive. Like Hürzeler, didn't know much about him, but he's done a really good job as well. So they're still missing Solly March, James Milner, Adam Webster. João Pedro and Matt O'Reilly might make it. Minty, Lewis Dunk are doubtful. Could be available. Balaba might be back, and Yasin Ayari is an option. Might be an option. Maybe not. Welbeck's has scored 6 in 10, hasn't he? Which is he's never scored in 19 games against City. Oh, there we go. Put your money on it. Yeah, he's going to start probably with Welbeck, Rutter, and Matoma. It's more of a 4-3-3 than that. I don't know why they're going for that forward formation there. Van Heck, Igor, Estupian, Veltman. It really impresses me, by the way, how clever they are evolving this side constantly. Yeah. And still looking really good. They're such a very impressive side, aren't they? So, yeah, let me go to their results. They lost against Liverpool as well. They drew against Wolves 2-2 at home. Welbeck and Ferguson scoring there off the bench. They're a good side. And what do we know against Brighton? Look, Brighton are aggressive. They are structured. They keep the ball really well. They hit the wings really well. They will counter. They're just a really good side. And it's going to be hard. It could easily be 4 games in a row that lost. Gruder's a really exciting player, according to Alex. I don't really know much about Gruder, mate, if I'm being honest with you. They get a lot of these players in, don't they? I don't really know a lot of him. He's only 20, isn't he, Gruder? He's young. And attacking midfielder, signed from Mainz. I don't know a lot about him, but apparently he's good. Yeah, they've got. I mean, they do concede goals. Yeah, I agree with that actually. So that's the only good thing for us. We just have to probably score more than them. He had a good season last year at Mainz, apparently. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. So if you look at our team the other day, how's it going to be? This is how we played the other day. And on the bench was Gundogan, Doku, De Bruyne. De Bruyne I don't think will start. Ake is so-so. I don't think he's going to be available. So we built the team together. It's going to be Edison in goal. Guardiola will start. No Diaz. Oh, God. Ake is so-so. I don't think he's going to play either. I think it's going to have to be again, you know. I think we're going to have to play. I don't think Diaz is available. I don't think Stones is available. Ake apparently is not. I'm not sure about Ake's fitness. I think it might be Pusey and Kanji again. You know, I think it is going to be. I don't think we've got much more than Simpson Pusey again. I think it's going to be that. I think we could see Kyle Walker play on the right side of a 3. He could play a slightly different formation. But I think Walker will play this game. I think he'll come back into the team with Rico. A bit more training behind him. You could play Walker centre back. You could do this. You could play Walker there. And you could play Lewis here. You could do let Lewis go. You could play that basically, couldn't he? You could tell Guardiola to sit back a little bit and Lewis to go forward a tiny bit more. He could do that and say, I don't like it, but he could do that. I think there's a chance Doku comes back into the team. He's going to start Savinho. He's going to start Foden. Haaland's going to start there. I mean, Leafer, we've got no choice. We've got no choice about Akanji. We've got no one available. We've got no one available. Diaz, Stones, Ake. I think there's rumours that Ake's not available. He's just not fit. So Rico as left back. Yeah, it could be that. It could be this. Yeah, well, that wouldn't be the worst idea in the world. We might have to see that. You know, it's not a bad shout, Chi. It might have to be that. Like, it wouldn't be surprised if we see that at all. I think Nunes gets another start. I think he probably does. But Doku, I think, has got a chance. Then we look at the game the other day. Kovacic played in midfield. Bernardo. Don't be surprised to see Gundo come back in. I would love to see O'Reilly or Wright start. Who knows? McAtee might get a start. The mad thing is, like, if McAtee was at Brighton, he'd be playing football. I just know that. I just feel it in my bones. Exactly, Fenway. It's a good point. You know, where's he going to score from? I think Guardiola is predictable. Bernardo Silva is going to play, and I think that leaves Kovacic or Gundogan. I think it'll be Kovacic. I think he wasn't that disappointed. I still think Rico Lewis is more likely to be over there, and this will be JSP or Walker. Like, it's going to be that, isn't it? I think it'll be that probably, and I think I would like them to see. I mean, what I would like is different to what I think will happen. I think it's going to be like that. I would love to see Jacob Wright start. I would love to see O'Reilly start. I think we have to use them, but I don't think he's going to. I think he's going to push these players for one more game and then just switch off for 2 weeks. Switch off for 2 weeks and worry about after then and hope that some players are back. I don't know how it's going to go. Look, I've got a feeling that we might not lose tomorrow. I think we might draw. I don't know about a win, but I would actually take a draw. I wouldn't be that disappointed by it. I think a draw is possible. I think they can see goals, and I think we'll score goals. I do feel 3 losses in a row usually makes City respond. Guardiola looked furious today. And there was some rumours going around from Jack Grealish from the Daily Mail that there was sort of like a lot of soul searching after the Lisbon game. And usually when players of City's quality get together, they tend to sort of fix things and, you know, have a chat and all that kind of stuff. And they tend to solve problems themselves, you know. They tend to solve problems themselves. So that's how I feel about it anyway. Guys, do let me know your predictions. I'm going to go for 2-2. 2-2. There we go. My heart says we win. We get back to 4 when we scrape out a 2-1 win. But I think 2-2. We could lose. It could be 4 in a row. But what I do know right now is we're just surviving. We're just surviving. Once again, if you want to enter the big pick 6 over on Fan Team, it would be massively appreciated to help support the channel a little bit. Play this game once. If you don't like it, don't play it ever again. But I would appreciate you guys give it a go. 100 people watching right now. It's free to enter. For first time signups, you get a free entry on them. No deposit required. 0 deposit required. Once again, all you got to do is pick 6 players from Sunday's games. Sunday's games are as follows: United versus Leicester, Forest versus Newcastle, Spurs versus Ipswich, and Chelsea versus Arsenal. And these are the 6 players that I've chosen. The link is in the top pinned comment in the description below. I've chose Son because I think he'll score against Ipswich and Solanke too. I think Saka and Palmer will both be involved in goals contributions against Chelsea and Arsenal respectively. Vardy's going to score United, and I think Wood will score against Newcastle. So I've gone for that. I did actually get some money last week, and using my free entry, £6 top corner there. Top 20% are involved in the £11,000 pot. It's dead easy, man. Just go for it. 1 in 5 people win some money. All you got to do is know who's going to play well. No budget, no FPL stuff. It took me like 30 seconds to enter. Dead easy. I just looked at the list of players. It tells you everyone's available as well. And then you just choose them. Dead easy. You can up to 3 from the same team. No positions, no budget. So easy to play. And once again, I would appreciate if you guys give it a go. Help support my channel a little bit. No money deposited. Dead easy to play. Give it a go right now. What you're doing, get your phone out. Click the link in the description. Play the big pick 6 this week, and if you don't like it, don't worry about it. But if you fancy giving it a go, I'd recommend it. I played last week and won £6 from a free entry, and I'll play again next week. I played this week, and there's my team I've submitted. Dead easy, really easy. And you've got until 10 a.m. on Sunday to enter. Usually takes about 24 hours to get a ticket validated if you enter now, but it'll be done in time if you do your team, if that makes sense. So get the link, sign up, and give it a go. Guys, thank you very much for watching. Enter the big pick 6. Link in the description below for now. In a bit, and I'll see you tomorrow. By the way, I forgot to say, my watch along will be over on bigup.com. That link is in the description as always. You'll be able to see me over there. there we go. Watch along tomorrow on bigup.com. It starts in 20 hours. I'll do a little team news video before it as well. For now, in a bit, love you all loads. Bye-bye.